Hello everyone, welcome back to the OS World Cup 2024. More of the round 32 for you. We've still got 5 matches left to show you today. And we're going to be starting out with Great Britain versus Finland. There they are. The 10th seed versus the 23rd seed. And these teams have got a bit of a history between the two of them. Of course, they first played all the way back in 2014, where the UK were victorious against them 4-1. They then didn't meet for another 3 years, where they met again in the group stage, and Finland were defeated 5-0. And the last time they played was all the way back in 2022, where they met in the quarterfinals, where the UK once again won 6-4. So Finland have not traditionally had a great matchup against the United Kingdom. And those seedings indicate that they're in for a bit of a rough ride. Now, just to kind of break down kind of what has happened between these two teams, obviously UK has had 3 members from their previous World Cup teams swap out, being Kingling, Easy Champ, and Ofiz for the returning Listia, Mahmoud, and Skier. We've also had 3 members of Finland swap out from last year as well, Oyodi, Kanalu and Freezed for A, Mayuri and Tabletti. So quite significant roster changes for both these teams, but again, hopefully they can show us what they're capable of. And of course, looking at purely the qualifier results and the team differences last year, the difference between these two teams was 486k, and this year it's down to below 400k. It's 395,000 score difference in the qualifiers. So, you know, Finland potentially have some interesting stuff to show us this year as we have a look at that map pool. And Finland looks like they are up on the roll, so they will have that second ban. So UK up for the first ban. And just trying to get a feel for what these teams might want to attempt to ban out. I know this UK team opting to ban out that free mod 3. Not really a surprise when you look at this Finland roster. Some very, very good players on this team. And yeah, Hidden 2 coming out from the Finland roster. Again, some very good reading players on this team for the UK. You've got players like Haunt and Listia, Bubbleman, of course, and Skier. So definitely going to be wanting to avoid that. And finally, I can introduce you to my co-conspirator. It is the ever so wonderful, ever so lovely. It's Doomsday once again. How are you doing, Doomsday?
What's going on, Dimash? What's up? I'm slipping in. I'll do my best Sheba impression for you. Well, I can't bring the energy he can, but I can bring some good old vibes, I suppose. Good to be back on. Good to be back on, mate.
So yeah, interesting start. Finland going to be starting out with the free mod 2 after the free mod 3 ban, which is a unique strategy. Of course, this free mod 2 is very much a, you know, it's an control anti-mod sort of map. You know, you've got some tricky stacks here and there for hidden players, precision focus for hard rock, finger control as well mixed in for this map for those hard rock players. You know, you've got some 1/6 and 1/8 burst triples. So it is a short map, but it packs a punch. I think, Doomsday, you've got some experience with this map, right?
Yeah, I remember this map very well. Playing it in World Cup many years ago. It was hidden finals in 2018, and here we are in round of 32, free mod. So times have changed. It's a map that certainly the UK enjoyed back then, and they'll enjoy now with their reading players and their mod players. But of course, Finland opening up with this shows they must have something up their sleeve, because they have some serious mod players on their side as well. Seeing Nev hop in for this, I wonder if he's going to be the one taking the hard rock. Very solid hard rock player. Shadew's coming in. Very well could be a good shout for the hidden. That low AR hidden. Desq Anesthetic going to be great backing up, but I wonder if they'll overmod this with this lineup.
Well, we did see the Finnish side pick this sort of roster for Hidden 2. It was Anesthetic, Zeppi, Nev, and Tabletti in their first run, so obviously deciding to mix things up slightly on this run. Of course, you've got a very solid lineup for the UK here. Rudge taking the hard rock, Skier going to be taking the hidden. Of course, Nev on that hidden as well, like you said. So here we go, kicking things off for United Kingdom versus Finland. It is free mod 3, Finland's first pick.
I got the mods completely wrong. Nev taking hidden, Shadew's taking hard rock. That's a great start. But hey, mod players, I was close.
You're very close. And so far, accuracy advantage actually in favor of Finland right now. Anesthetic doing work on the Nomad right now. Perfect accuracy. Nev going to be finding the first break alongside Rudge, so a hard rock versus hidden trade for both teams, as everyone else holds strong.
Yeah, just the drops on those mod players. Nev drops another miss on their hidden, but the FC still holding well. That mod advantage doing good work here for Finland with the double hard rock still holding the combos. Accuracy down a little bit on Desq, but the mod's going to make up for it. It's looking solid though on those FCs. The accuracy is looking pretty good across the board. Skier there with a 97%, but he's on that low AR hidden, his preference mod. So far so good for both teams really.
And Nev running into another reset. Shadew's goes down as well, that's far more significant. Another full combo drop for Finland, and suddenly UK went from this being a very close matchup to being right in the driver's seat with a great recovery from Rudge. Desq's going to drop as well, leaving Anesthetic on their own. Haunt does drop right at the end of the map, but the score's so far gone at this stage that it's going to go over to the UK for the first breakpoint.
Solid score as well with a 3.4 million. It's a very solid team score here from the UK. Skier there with a 3 miss. I think that was a reverse choke, I think, from him there, or right at the end, one of the two. It's a very good score on the hidden. Bubbleman on that comfy no mod, banking his first FC of the tournament. First of many, possibly. But I think it was a decent run there from Finland, but it's a breakpoint right out of the gate. Not the way they would have wanted to start this one against the higher seed. But plenty more of this game to go yet. Oh, sending no mod 2. It is speed time.
It is a rapid fire shot from the UK side. Something that Finland actually did very well on in qualifiers. The Nomad 2 was a better performance overall from the Finnish compared to the UK, but the UK had one major difference, and that was that they had no Okolibed during qualifiers, and he's here now. So a very different looking roster from what we had in the qualifiers, I would say.
Yeah, the addition of Okolibed to the DT roster is obviously such a big boon that they didn't have then. They've got pretty decent cover across the board, even without Okolibed though, but you can swap him in for that fourth player, and all of a sudden, that's a terrifying speed demon roster. Finland, though, are very good on tapping as well, and I don't think they're going to be too afraid on like a round of 32 pool. Because if they're consistent as a 4 on this, they can challenge anyone. It's a brave pick from the UK, but they have very brave speed players in their roster. Looks like it's going to be Skier swapped out from that DT roster in the qualifiers for Okolibed. And I think that's probably the wisest decision, because Bubbleman, Rudge and Malteser should be right at home on a round 32 speed pick.
Yeah, so some very good players on this roster. Watch out for players like Armacetic and Desku. Very good at this sort of thing. Zepe as well, also quite dangerous. So it's not a free win for the UK. You know, the Finnish roster have got some good players behind them to battle on this map. So it should be a real grudge match on who takes this. But UK gonna be confident with a roster like this.
Looking at the players, though, not seeing any AJJ here for Finland, who played like all the DT maps in qualifiers. Looks like we're going to be seeing Desku in as that fourth. He did play the DT1 and did very well, though, so he's definitely going to be a solid pair of hands for this. I'm curious to not see AJJ in for the tapping, for sure.
Yeah, Mayuri going to be the first one to be tripped up, though, for Finland. So, advantage over to the UK early on in the first quarter of the map. There's still plenty of time for things to shift around, but it's going to come from a UK break and not from anything else, so all eyes on them now to see if they can hold their mettle.
Looking at the way the matches have been going so far, this is looking like a nice comfy pick for a lot of teams, especially those speed-focused ones, so I mean, on basis of that, misses are going to be at a premium. I think that early miss from Mayuri might really sting. His team is holding the fort, though. There goes Malteser right in the middle of the map, so that's a painful miss here for the UK, and Finland are going to be on that comeback trail now.
Yeah, they're going to be starting to win that tug-of-war on the scorebar. But it's going to take some time for it to get over there. No major accuracy issues from any player on both these teams, which is what's keeping it so close. So we're already into the last quarter of the map, and the question is, can Finland now hold their mettle, as they are looking to take the score lead any second now? There it is, quarter of the map left. They gotta hold on to this very strong, though. Like you said, misses at a premium, so who's going to be the first one to do it?
Is anyone going to cough here? As things speed up just a little bit. Hold your nerve, hold your medal. Still 6 FCs on the board. Mayuri with that recovery, and the accuracy is so good on everyone. There goes Zepe, though. That's big. Not much of the map to go, but they're closing in fast.
Yeah, can they flip it? It's 30k. It's going to come right down to the wire. Very close at the end, and it just about flips for the UK, but they've got to hold on to it to the very end. Malteser drops. But it doesn't matter. Right at the end, 44k. And it is a closely fought victory for the UK on their very first pick of the map. On the match, sorry, but they do start off strong, 2-0.
That's such a good score from both of these two, man. That's 3 full combos for the UK, a 1-100 from Bubbleman, 3 and 5 on the other two for Akolibed and Rudge. But Finland's speed roster is so scary, nearly stealing it there. Proper tug of war, but so far so good here for the UK. Finland with work to do. The next pick is theirs, so they've got the reins to make it work.
Man, an intense start to this matchup. Both these teams not wanting to give an inch. So Finland gonna need a new strategy. That free mod really did backfire on them, but they're gonna stick at their guns. Free mod 1 is up on the docket.
Okaga Stride, classic RLC. Classic map here. AR9, CS4, hidden's quite dense. Hard Rock has that mechanical skill needed. It's a spicy one for the hidden players, this. But we have seen some good runs on this so far. And once again, I wonder if we're going to see a good old Hard Rock overmod, I think, for Finland. With their Hard Rock players. Let's see if we get the same ones we got on Broken Moon, though. As they swap their players out.
Yeah, again, Finland opts for that overmod on their last run. and we'll see if they try that tactic again. It didn't work out for them, but it was good accuracies across the board. So they're sticking with that game plan. We are seeing some potential roster changes for the UK though. Listia potentially up, who may be swapping in for Skier on the hidden.
I suppose I was thinking about the hidden players for the UK, because you had Skier in for Broken Moon. He got a really good run on the hidden. I mean, I think you could have had Listia in or Skier. It's all about comfort between those two on the hidden, but I suppose this year must be a bit more comfy on the hidden this time around. Unless she's going to be taking a comfy no mod, which is also possible with it being AR9.
So, still going to be waiting for one more member of the UK roster. It's going to be a Kolibed coming in. So, you can see, you're imagining Listia taking the hidden. I could see a Kolibed, Rudge, or Bubbleman taking Hard Rock here. And potentially Overmod. But yeah, I don't think there's any reason for them to at this stage.
On the Finnish side, we're seeing Tabletti. He is in, didn't play Broken Moon, but he's in for this AR9 CS4 styling. Also seen Zeppe come in, who didn't play Broken Moon, so very different roster compared to that last free mod on this one. They were about to start and then called for an abort.
Yep.
That just someone like not swapping in, I think. Yeah, it looks like it. There we go.
Yeah, Listia just disappeared, vanished from the face of the earth in that moment. So after that false start, we're ready to go again.
I wouldn't be surprised to see a whack load of Hard Rock on this. See who's taking it though. That's Rudge on the Hard Rock, Listia on that hidden for the UK. And that's 2 Hard Rocks for Finland, Descu and Zeppe. Taking that AR10 preference on that AR9 density, opting to avoid that. Anesthetic, sticking with good old no mod here for the Finns.
Yeah, you've got Tabletti swapping in for Nev on the hidden. And Shadoo's stepping out for Zeppe for Hard Rock. But they are going to try that overmod strategy. Accuracy is going to be vital for them, as they do have the combo advantage, or the multiplier advantage in hand. But it is a slow start for Finland, as they lose quite a bit of accuracy in the opening pattern to this map. And UK have not put a single foot even out of line. What is this start?
It's a pretty crazy start there. Sure, it's OD8, it's not super high, but it's there. A miss there from Tabletti on that hidden as well, is going to split things up, as is Anesthetic on the no mod. So you need the Hard Rocks left here for Finland. Work to do for them against this this 4-way, dare I say it? It's a 4-way something, that's what's happening.
So back into this. And again, Finland not playing this bad at all. Still got those 2 Hard Rocks up, but what can you do against a near perfect 4-way run from the UK? No overmodding needed. And now just comfortably pushing their way through this map. There's nothing that Finland can do at this stage. And Zeppe drops now as well.
No more drops there for Bubblemans. That's the first drop from the UK. Still 3 FCs, but it's only Descu left, so it's still very much out of Finland's hands here. Yeah, super far away, but they are starting to pull away still, slowly here for the UK.
This part of the map really crucial. As Tabletti goes as well for Finland, it's all starting to fall apart. Desku, the last full combo left up for them, and they're up against a 3-way full combo from the UK with both their mods still intact. So going into this last quarter, it's only going to go further and further away from them, as they're hoping for a major mistake coming up from the UK, and it doesn't happen.
It ain't happening, man. The ending of this is definitely the hardest part of the map. Like, God, I think it's going to be signed, sealed, and delivered before we even get there, Dimash. Desku, who's had such a good start to this game, he can't do it alone. Amacetic's no more recovering, but it's just not happening. The UK still have 3 FCs. Make that 2. There goes Rudge on the Hard Rock. But that is still domineering here for the Brits.
You start to find misses. There goes Akoli, but the last full combo. Desku holds through, but Amacetic drops that big supporting combo, and it just ain't gonna matter, even with this incredible play from Desku on the Hard Rock.
It's not quite the FC for Desku. I think he was so close. Oh, so close, though. Great run there from Desku, man. He's having a great game himself. But at the moment, UK are having the match they want. It's 3-0. And look at that seal. 1 misses, 1 100s there. 2 of them on the side of the UK. A 150 from Amacetic.
There was a lot of talk about this UK team before this tournament, and about how good their roster looked, and about how that, in all honesty, they threw their qualifier result a little bit due to IRL events as well as missing players, and they may just become the dark horse of this tournament, with especially how they're performing against the 23rd seed. They are really showcasing what they can do, and with a second pick in hand, looking to pick out something nasty.
We went straight into that tap-in on the Nomad 2 Burn Your TV. They still got 3 double-time maps open. Finland can challenge them on the speed. They're not going to go there, actually. We're going to see a map that I don't think we've seen very often this weekend. It's going to be Nomad 4, the Unlucky Morpheus flow aim control map coming up next. Oh, I love the pick in this, because this might actually be my favourite map of the whole pool.
It is an incredibly devious map. As far as I know, one of the highest rated star rated maps in the pool, for good reason. Yeah, like you said, you got a heavy flow aim focus on this. Back and forth snaps onto sliders. It's just an absolute mess of bursts and flow aim. There is so much more to this map, especially the ending of this map. I'd really want to see some of these top players hit the ending, but again, I'm getting ahead of myself. Still need to see some players from the Finnish roster turn up for this map.
I mean, I think there's like debate on whether this is like a stream map or an ult map. It's kind of on the fence of both. It's definitely streamy and it's got plenty of like flow aim to deal with, but the hard parts of this are the control elements. These back and forths in the middle of streams on offbeats and snappy 1-4 aim you have to do. It's all about managing the control side of this. So, and I think when it comes to that sort of map, scores and qualifiers were quite comparable on things like the ult map in Nomad 3, the tech map. They were very comparable between these two. So Finland should be able to give them a good fight on this. UK have always been a mean flow aim team though, so if it comes down to that on this map, then the UK will be feeling quite confident. Finland though taking their time picking out who to take on the UK here.
No surprise to see Desku in again, having such a great tournament match so far. It's had some really high power scores, but has struggled to get the rest of his team up there. So a big pop-off win for Finland here is exactly what they need to get back into this match. They've got to get that point on the board, and the sooner the better. They do have one more pick in hand, at least, at bare minimum. If they could convert this would be massive for their mental.
We'll soon see. I mean, they're no more 2 scores when it comes to the Flame as well. We're very good in qualies. Especially when you compare them to the UK. They're looking quite nice on this. But when the chips are on the table, we'll see how it plays out. Let's see. Skier is back in here for the UK. Mayuri also back in here for the Finns. This map is so hard to be consistent on in tournaments. Those sort of patterns where you can just int them, even if you're feeling good going into the lobby. Time to gamble.
And immediately Finland run into some issues. A couple of full combos dropped. Mayuri and Desku down. But a lot of maps still to go, so plenty of time to flip this around. But they do start on a deficit.
Yeah, a few misses here on the side of a collier bed, but that's the only miss. I'll make that 2. Bubbleman drops his FC. 2 FCs, 2-1. It's just Amacetic left here on the side of the Finns, but it's a chaotic start of the map for a lot of players in this lobby, Damage. A lot of players having a few issues on this. It is one of those maps, though. It just doesn't work sometimes, and it's chaos already.
Yeah, let the chaos reign, and it won't be long before we start getting into those real accelerating and decelerating streams, which will throw a lot of players off, even those who still do have 2 full combos, and there is 3 of them left. But the supports are starting to rally up from Akalibet and Bubbleman as well, so they're still going to be extending that score lead. If the Finnish roster can hold, maybe they can have a chance to get back into this. But again, you're relying on the UK players to miss, and they might not provide any more for them. That might be all they get.
That section there, more flow aim. It seemed to click, but Bubbleman finding the miss there. His combo's popped. It's still with the UK, but not by much now. Rudge drops his FC on the end of that stream. It might actually be with Finland a little bit now, but I think they still need a bit more for this ending. It's not happening though.
There goes the Akalibet, and there goes Skier. The last full combo's down. Amacetic is there. Does he have enough score and time to convert this? 250k. He's got no support. He's out on his own. And the map is rapidly coming to the end. Here comes the accelerated streams. Very nasty to try and hit these consistently. Everyone managed it, but there goes Amacetic, and I think that'll do it for Finland on this map.
And what a score from Amacetic, though. What a run by him. Hitting so much that ending as well, but it ain't to be. The team scored just too good here for the UK. On the whole, a pretty good pick for them, judging by the head-to-head when you go player to player. Miscounts extremely low from them as well. Great accuracies, over 99% on 3 of them. Akalibet not far behind. And it's match point here for the UK.
Yeah, absolutely well-deserved pick from them. Skier with the incredible score. Not topping the lobby, unfortunately. Amacetic with that amazing run. But just couldn't quite bring it home once we entered that final section. And that map does ramp up quite nasty towards the end. It's a real change in style and structure and patterns. But where do Finland go now? They've got no more free mod left open to them. And they're going to go into a map that has yielded very high scores this weekend. It's DT2. Maybe for a bit of consistency.
Yeah, it's looking to get Finland's speed roster in their happy place, I think. Break out the Senya satellite in case of emergency, I think. Satellite, Senya streams all day, every day. Long stamina streams in this one. It looks like that's where they're going. I guess it just needs to be locked in, but... yeah, we've seen this map a lot, haven't we, Dimash? It's been really popular. I guess not really surprised, because almost every team feels like they have a comfy speed roster now. It's a cozy bowl of chicken soup of a map for a lot of teams.
It really is, with a bit of bread and butter on the side. It's just everything that they've got and need. And every team trying to put good scores on this map, it seems. And as a result, misses are punished probably worse here than on any other map in the pool because of the potential of all teams to really score well on this map. As far as I know, I think we've already seen a couple of 4-ways on this, but I've definitely seen multiple 4 million team scores. So it really is one of those maps that it feels like almost every team can play. And that puts a little bit of pressure on both sides to score very well and highly here.
If it goes anything like Burn Your TV, where that Silver Box of Speed map, those two scores were pretty scary, man. So I think you're going to have to score highly to win against either of these two teams. Seeing AJJ, though, he's making his appearance for the first time this tournament here for the Finns. And you really want him on those tapping maps. He's a great asset to the team on maps like this.
He is, and with players like Zeppe and Amacetic coming in as well, this Finnish roster looking quite deadly. But, I mean, they are up against some of the greats. You know, just looking at Bowman and Akalibet themselves, they are in a class of their own, but Malteser as well. Very well known for this sort of thing. And we may have just had an abort there again, as some of the players struggling to connect.
Yeah, I wonder, did Mahmood just like leave at the last second or something there? Yeah, it looks like he did. He pressed keypad. Oops.
He got wooted
for this. He wooted.
He wooted.
And when you set rapid trigger to your escape key, I mean, just for maximum speed when you miss the start. I see the strat.
It's a quick restart. That's what it's for.
Oh yeah. But yeah, Mahmood in for this is curious. He's been working on his speed recently. Cool to see him in for a tapping map. A very strong aim player by trade. But in for the DT2. No Desku in. He played the Nomad 2. I guess swapping him for AJJ. It's a good swap. But curious to see him not playing this. I think his team must be more comfy.
Yeah, again, they may have quite a good amount of roster depth for this sort of map. But yeah, Mahmood, someone that, when it's within his comfort range, not really known much as a stream and tapping player, like you said, but when it's within a certain comfort range, he has shown to be very consistent on this sort of thing. So I think to find a repeat consistency here, no team puts a foot wrong with the combo. And it's back and forth for the accuracy here, but Finland hold ever so slightest of margins at this stage.
A bit of accuracy. It's going to be AJJ getting the first break, though, on the side of Finland. UK with the early advantage here. These streams are so long. Especially in those choruses. They're dotted all over this one. The lobby dealing with them so well, though. The accuracy is looking pretty good across the board, so it's going to be about that aim drop here and there. That slider drop here and there, it's looking like.
Yeah, so Finland now going to be praying for one of those unfortunate misses to punish the UK, but they are the ones to put the foot wrong, so they're hoping for a UK mistake. And then another one of those big streams goes down. Halfway through, the UK still not finding a mistake. Time starting to run out for the Finnish side as the score margin goes higher and higher, but they're still there with 3 full combos, so they do have the opportunity. AJJ recovering nicely. They just need a spot, and Mayuri dropping full combo isn't going to help them at all. Now they're hoping for a major mistake from the UK, and it may not come with a quarter of the map left.
Yeah, long solo here now. Still no combo breaks here for the UK. Amacetic and Zeppe, man, it's up to them to make something happen. AJJ recovering nicely, but they're just not being given anything at all. Nothing at all dropped here for the UK. 99%. Mahmood with that 97 FC, well, 98 FC. But final chorus, man, there's no time left. right at the end.
No time, no room for a comeback. It's 500k down for the Finnish side. They're looking to finish, or hoping to finish strong with 2 full combos and 1 big combo. It looks like they'll get their wish, but the UK putting on an absolute clinic in this matchup. Had some close matchups, but on the maps that they're strongest on, they just look unbeatable.
Wow.
And that is a clinic right there.
That's a masterclass on how you do it. 4.6 million. 4 FCs. Accuracy spot on. That is a way to end a match right there. UK are your victors. They take this one 5-0. Finland with 2 FCs. Some really good act on there. Just the consistency. You need it when you're against a team that just doesn't miss on speed, man. A good performance there. It's just unfortunate about the way the UK have played today.
An absolute clinic for the UK. Unfortunate for the Finnish side. I think this UK roster, slightly underseeded, have just given them too much to deal with in their round of 32. But it's not over for Finland. They'll go down to the losers bracket and have another chance. But for the UK, it is the near perfect start that you could want for your round of 32 in the World Cup. I'm very excited to see what they're going to show us next week, because this roster looks like it's here to do some damage to the World Cup this year.
Yeah, they're in it to win it this year, the UK. Or at least give it a good old college try, as they say. They'll be in the winners bracket in the round of 16, and they'll be awaiting the result of the Chile versus Spain, which gets played a bit later today. They will play the winner of that, and likewise Finland will be facing the loser of that one, either Chile or Spain. So we'll see how that one works out a little bit later today. That might actually be the next one. I need to have a look.
We do still have a couple of matches before that. The next one up is actually going to be Russia versus Argentina. That is going to be in just under half an hour's time, in about 23 minutes or so. And then, of course, we've got France versus Turkey. Then we have that Chile versus Spain match. And then, of course, finishing off with USA versus Peru. Both the Chile and USA match will be going on simultaneously, so there'll be 2 streams for that. But until we get to then, I want to thank Doomsday for once again joining me for the World Cup. It's always a pleasure to cast alongside you, even more special when we get to do it for the World Cup.
It's always good, mate. Always good casting with you. Hopefully we get many more. Fingers crossed the organisers will be nice to us.
Wink, yeah, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Wink, nudge, nudge. But until then, guys, we're going to take that short break. We will be back very, very shortly for Russia versus Argentina. So don't go anywhere.